Welcome back to My Views in News, another news bulletin with news stories from Ethiopia and Sudan. Firstly, referendum in southern Tigray is being proposed. Who is proposing this referendum? A petition with around 150,000 signatures has been submitted to Ethiopian House of Federation. Secondly, Sadkan Britain side Tigray's top channel is in the US. This week, around 3 days ago, I think, he arrived in the US. It is being rumored that his house was raided by some individuals in Tigray. His vehicle was searched. His house was searched. Thirdly, viewers, kidnapping for ransom. We know that a main road was blocked in Gurjum today, linking Debre Morkos with Emmanuel. 2 days ago, some truck drivers were abducted from an area between Elidairo and Gebre Guracha. Now, those who have been abducted, their family members have appeared that they are being contacted by the kidnappers. Fourthly, viewers, Sudan conflict. Chadian President has released a message for Hamati and Al-Burhan right from Chad-Sudan border, where thousands, tens of thousands of Sudanese have entered Adre town of Chad, which is right on Chad-Sudan border. From this town, he released a message for Sudanese warring factions. Secondly, Minawi Darfur governor, where is he? His forces were seen today in Al-Fashir. And lastly, an interesting international development that Antony Blinken, US Secretary of State, arrived in Beijing, China today. There he spoke about Taiwan. What did he say? We have a clip for you. Firstly, viewers, three zones are disputed between Tigray and the Amhara regions. Raya, southern Tigray, Volkai Thumera Sagade, western Tigray, Salamti, Misapare. Both regions have their claims to these areas. Before the war broke out in northern Ethiopia in November 2020, these three zones were part of Tigray. Tigray wants restoration of its borders to November 2020 position. Now, the three zones are under Amhara control, Ethiopian federal government control. Tens of thousands of people have been displaced from these areas, and the displaced people are mostly in Tigray. Amhara region has been saying, regional government, Amhara Prosperity Party, region-based groups, saying that Volkait is Amhara. Volkait is non-negotiable. There cannot be any talks with anyone about the status of Volkait, western Tigray. So here Amhara government's position is very clear. Western Tigray under the control of interim government, of which Colonel Magazadu is a major part. He is deputy head of the region, head of peace and security. And he is opposing return of IDPs as well, return of IDPs to western Tigray, Volkai Thumera Sagade. We have been seeing rallies by some residents in Dansha, in Sagade, and then in Dema, Salamti, there was a big rally 2 days ago. So no negotiations. But Amhara region's position about Raya seems to be flexible. Now, a petition has been submitted to Ethiopian House of Federation. Petition with 150,000 signatures has been submitted to the House of Federation. Of course, petition is from Raya zone people, Amharas living here. Zonal government is also led by Amhara people. And what is the demand in this petition? What is the prayer? The petition wants that identity of people of Raya must be determined. Decision must be made that the identity of the people is Amhara. It should be announced. Budget should be allocated for Raya, and Raya's budget should be included in Amhara region's budget. So the petition wants Raya zone to remain, to be part of the Amhara region. No such petition submitted about Western zone. Here, Amhara region says no negotiations. Volkayth is Amhara. But in southern Tigray, Amhara regional government and the provisional government in Raya wants a referendum. Through this petition, Amhara region is asking House of Federation to announce holding of referendum in Raya. Will this referendum suggestion be accepted to Tigray? Will Tigray accept it? Let's see. I don't think Tigray will accept it. A referendum cannot be held because IDPs are still out of Raya. People have been displaced from Raya, Volkayth. Referendum can only be held if all IDPs return to Raya and Volkayth. Will they be allowed to return to Raya and Volkayth, especially Raya? Because referendum in Raya is being proposed, not in Volkayth. And if IDPs start returning, will they be allowed to return? Because obviously, return of IDPs will change the demographic balance. So, holding a referendum, is it viable? Is it doable? We'll have to wait. Let's see how Tigray responds. But Amhara region is taking a position now about one area of dispute, that referendum should be held in Raya, southern Tigray. Tigray will not agree to a referendum unless all IDPs return to Raya. Even after they return to Tigray, might not accept the proposal. Tigray says Raya, Volkayth are part of Tigray. No need of referendum. Let's see how Tigray responds. Let's see how House of Federation answers this petition. Will it agree to a referendum? Will it send it to NABE, National Election Board of Ethiopia, to make preparation for a referendum? That remains to be seen. Secondly, Tigray is a top general. Gabriel Tensai, Sadkan Gabriel Tensai is in the US. 3 days ago, he arrived in the US, and at an airport in the US, he was confronted by an angry Ethiopian who accused him of having killed 1 million Ethiopians. Sadkan did not respond. He just departed the airport, and then his daughter, through a social media post, said that Sadkan was in the US to spend some time with his family. His family is in the US. So while Sadkan is in the US, rumors are going around that Sadkan's house had been raided in Tigray, searched. His vehicle searched as well. His driver arrested reportedly. Sadkan is part of Tigray interim government too, by the way. His rank is equal to that of Tigray deputy president. Getachew is president, interim president. Sadkan is deputy president. No official confirmation, obviously. Such incidents are not officially confirmed. Sadgan is silent too, but some Tigray critics are saying that they have evidence. They know, they have verbal evidence that people from the area contacted them and they said that Sadgan's house was surrounded. It was searched thoroughly. Let's see, we'll have to wait for more information, but we have been saying Sadgan is very critical of TPLF's solo flight in Tigray. He wants inclusive interim setup. He wants a transparent process leading to election. He wants early return of IDPs. He announced a few days ago that IDPs should return to their homes before winter. So he wants quick action and he wants democratic reforms, transparent election. He opposed TPLF's attempt to make Debretsion as the president for interim period. He backed Getachew. Getachew chose him too, and he became vice president. He was nominated by Tigray scholars, I think, but he is now the deputy president. Let's see. We'll have to wait for more confirmation. Will he return? Important question is, will he return to Tigray? When will he return to Tigray? Any schedule announced by Sadgan, by his family, by Tigray government? He's a government official, by the way. No announcement by any side about his return so far. Thirdly, there was alarming development from Amhara-Oromia border. Around 48 hours ago, I reported that some truck drivers had been abducted from an area in North Shore between Gabragoracha and Elidairo. Several truck drivers were abducted by some unknown armed men. Amharic news sources claim the abductors were members of OLA, Oromo Liberation Army. OLA is silent. Incident confirmed, it happened. But what was the objective? Why were they, the ordinary truck drivers, abducted? Now, family members of abductees have appeared. They say those who abducted their loved ones are contacting them by phone. They are demanding ransom. Ransom, huge ransom, millions of birrs are being demanded by the abductors. Kidnapping for ransom in Oromia is not a new thing, by the way. Ola has been accused of kidnapping for ransom for years. Ola denies. Ola says criminal elements, government-backed militia members, and other Oromo factions like Figade Abdisa's group could be involved in kidnapping for ransom. But reportedly, Ola fighters have been involved in kidnapping for ransom, in bank robberies. That is how they fund their armed campaigns, and through support from diaspora. Now, these truck drivers are ordinary truck drivers with salaries, a few thousand birrs monthly. They are not truck owners, by the way. They are truck drivers. Millions of birrs ransom cannot be paid by their families. More than one family members of these truck drivers have appeared. They say that they have received phone calls for ransom. This is the time for government to step in. Family members cannot pay ransom. It's the responsibility of the government to catch those, to arrest those, to trace those who abducted these poor truck drivers. Ola should issue a statement as well. Is Ola involved in these attacks? Ola claims to be fighting for the rights of Oromo people. The abductees are not Oromo, I think. They are Amharas from Bahirdar. They were on their way towards Oromia. Ola should make it clear. Is it involved in this attack, in this abduction of several truck drivers? If Ola is not involved, does it know who is behind this incident involving the abduction and demand for ransom by an armed group in North Shore zone of the Oromia region? Fourthly, we are Sudan. Two news stories from Sudan, and lastly, a clip for you from Antony Blinken's visit of China. Hamati today thanked Chadian government. Chadian President released a message a few hours ago from Chad-Sudan border. Chad shares border with Sudan with Darfur. More than 100,000 Sudanese have entered Chad so far. Chadian border towns are filled with Sudanese people. Sudanese army is nowhere to be seen on Chad-Sudan border. Border is under rapid support force control. Chadian military is there on border. Chadian military has been involved in fighting against rapid support forces in support of Sudanese military reportedly. And some Chadian soldiers were injured too. Then Chadian President Mohamed Dabi visited Adre yesterday. He met with military leaders there, military commanders in Adre on Chad-Sudan border. And from there, he released a message. He asked Hamati and Al-Burhan to end the war. He said, no one will be winner in this war. The war should come to an end. I have a clip of Chadian President for you. Before that, where is Mini Minawi, Darfur governor? Darfur is being devastated. Rapid support forces sweeping across Darfur. Janina destroyed. Zilinji under siege. Cities in north, south Darfur, small cities being surrounded as well. Presence of RSF in Al-Fashir too, in Nayala too. Where is Mini Minawi? No one knows, by the way. Mini Minawi is trying to be neutral, I think, but his forces were seen today in Al-Fashir. He asked for international investigation into war crimes committed in Al Janina a few days ago. No international investigation. Mini Minawi's forces of SLA, Sudan Liberation Army, were seen today patrolling streets of Al-Fashir in North Darfur. Fully equipped forces. These forces could not protect people in West Darfur, in Central Darfur. Is he only protecting himself and his allies, his tribe, or is he protecting the entire Darfur? He could not deliver, he failed. There is no point for Mini Minawi to be head of Darfur if he is unable to protect people. Thousands have died in Darfur in the past few weeks. Three clips for you. First one shows Chadian President's message for Hamati and Burhan. Second clip is about the presence, the patrolling of Mini Minawi's SLA soldiers in Al-Fashir. Third one shows American Secretary of State Antony Blinken, who was in China today. He arrived in Beijing and there he spoke about China-Taiwan tensions. He spoke of one China policy, which is official US position for years, not something new. At the same time, US is arming Taiwan. It is providing weapons to Taiwan. US officials visit Taiwan and tensions rise between China and Taiwan because of these visits. But he unequivocally backed one China policy in his visit to China. Though the two are arch rivals, China and US, but still in talks, in touch, visits being exchanged. That is how conflicts are resolved. Countries should learn that no matter what disputes are, no matter what disagreements are, they should not cut off channels of communication. Once channels of communication are cut off, ordinary disagreements, dispute turn into large-scale escalation and then armed conflicts. With the three clips. Thank you for watching.
Comme je l'ai souvent fait, je voudrais appeler le président Burhan et le président Himiti d'arrêter la guerre. d'arrêter la guerre parce que dans cette guerre, il n'y aura aucun gagnant. Il n'y aura aucun gagnant. Au nom de Dieu.
On Taiwan, I reiterated the long-standing U.S. One China policy. That policy has not changed. It's guided by the Taiwan Relations Act, the 3 joint communiques, the 6 assurances. We do not support Taiwan independence. We remain opposed to any unilateral changes to the status quo by either side. We continue to expect the peaceful resolution of cross-strait differences.